Hello and welcome to another visual pattern challenge. The way this works is we have a visual pattern. So here's step one in the pattern, here's step two, here's step three. And the challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to predict first how many shapes, rectangles in this case, are there going to be in step number four. So see if you can predict that. And then, quite a bit harder, predict how many in step 43. And can you actually write an equation that models the whole pattern and could predict how many rectangles in any step at all. If you choose to accept that challenge, go ahead and pause the video, give it a shot, and we'll see how it goes. All right, this pattern may look a little different from patterns we've seen before. There's this kind of weird bridge shape made up of rectangles. I think the first thing to do is just approach it intuitively and see if you can see what's different just visually between each step. And it looks like this bridge pattern, the sort of over, up, over, down, over, that repeats itself here. So the same pattern there, but then this chunk gets added. And then if we look at the next step, it looks like it's the same as the step above, except this chunk gets added. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles and the same pattern down here. So it looks like they're adding 4 every step. We can verify that by making a little chart here. This is a good idea. Take the step number and then the number of rectangles and just chart it out. So in step number 1, there are, so that's 5. And in step number 2, there's 5 plus those 4 more, so that's 9. In step number 3, we've got those 9 plus 4 more, so that's 13. And once you've got this charted, you can find the difference between each step. So 9 minus 5 is 4, 13 minus 9 is 4, and this should verify what you saw visually. Visually, you saw they're adding 4 rectangles every time, and this shows the same thing. Each step goes up by 4. Once you've got that information, it's pretty easy, I think, to predict step 4, the next step. We're just going to add 4 more, right? So the difference here will be 4. 13 plus 4 is 17. So there should be 17 rectangles in step 4. And if you want to draw that pattern out, I think you can verify that, and that might help you to understand why that's true. All right, let's go on to the harder bits then. When you see that the change between steps stays the same, so it's 4 and 4 and 4, it's a constant rate of change. What that means is that the pattern is linear. It grows at a constant rate. And when a pattern is linear, we can use the equation for a line to model it. So this is the equation for a line in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. That m stands for slope. In the context of a pattern, it's our rate of change between steps, and our change is 4 every step. So this is going to be y equals 4 times x, where x is the step number. And this plus b, it's going to be some number, but we don't know yet. We have to figure that out. And I think the easiest, most intuitive way to do that is just to try the first step. So let's take our y equals 4x. So in this case, the step number is 1, so we put in 1 for x. Y equals 4 times 1. Well, that would be 4, but that wouldn't match the number of rectangles because there are 5 here. It would be 1 too short. So let's just add 1. So y equals 4x plus 1. So there's our equation. Let's test and see if that actually works for step 2. So in step 2, we'd say y equals 4 times step 2, that's our x, plus 1 now. That's what we decided we had to add there. And let's see if that follows for step 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So this equation is predicting there'll be 9 rectangles in step 2. And yeah, there are 9 rectangles. So I think we got the equation correct here. So let's go ahead and write it in here. So y equals 4x plus 1. Oh, and we've already predicted 17 in the next step. Once you've got an equation that works, and you may want to test it with step 3 just to double check, you can use it to find any step at all. So let's find step 43. So y equals 4 times step number 43 plus 1. All right, now we have to multiply 43 times 4. So let me do that in my head. 4 times 4 is 160, and 4 times 3 is 12. So it's 172 plus 1, which equals 173. So that's how many rectangles there should be in step 43. If you want to draw that one out, it might take you a while, but I think you'll find you get 173 rectangles in step 43. Well, how'd you do? Did your predictions come out to be right? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.